Why, hello everybody. Welcome back to 2B2T. We are here with 527 other players, and we are at the Ninja Walrus base today. Ta-da! And we are starting on a project. So you can see this cube over here that we have outlined, which is 64 blocks by 64 blocks by 64 blocks. We are going to make something interesting. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's something. And it's made out of obsidian and other stuff. So the first thing that we need to do is kind of build up a side. This is where it gets tricky because I forgot to, we'll have to replace our torches and stuff like that. Let me see. We're going to start here. Excuse me. Let's put a torch here. All right. So the idea is that think of it like a sponge, right? It has holes in it. We're going to make a giant obsidian cube, and it's going to have holes in it. And those holes are going to have crimson blocks in them, the wart blocks, the crimson wart, with the crimson vines. I forget all the proper names. The lights, the mushroom lights, the orangish red ones, and things like that all throughout. And it's going to have tunnels throughout the entire thing. So technically you could fly all the way through this thing if you can find your way through, because they're not going to be straight tunnels or anything like that. So my trick is to build this up and figure out where the tunnels are going to go. So I think for like this one here, I'm going to do some sort of a large crevice. That one's going to be a smaller one. And I think right here we'll start another one. And so on and so forth. I don't actually have a map of how I'm going to do this all planned out, so good luck to me, right? But I gotta make them link up. Maybe I should, here, after I place these, maybe I should kind of pause a little bit. Okay, I do have that. What if I was to like just temporarily here? We're gonna have mobs spawning on this. Okay, fail. Okay, fail. We'll deal with it. All right, so let's say that this is the center of this tunnel. So we're going to come in. It's going to curve up a little bit. So this will be my trick, is to kind of just create a tunnel around this. I'm just trying to give an idea here. And there may be an offshoot. But this tunnel is going to come out right there. I left all of my torches back at the base. I made a bunch of torches, and I left them all at the base. Let's go borrow some torches. I'm sure there's torches around here somewhere. We'll get them all back, because I'm not going to need torches. But I'm sure there's some in a chest somewhere. 16. What about down in the dock chests? Nope. Nope. Well, we'll start with 16. So, for example, and there'll be some like entrances, sort of, if you want to call them that. Let's put one torch there for, not that mobs are going to hurt the obsidian. They're definitely not. I'm going to do a really small hole right here that just kind of goes in a little bit. All right, so here all right, let's work on this a little bit just to kind of show you what we're going to do. Sorry. This one's not going to be a full cave all the way through. But we'll kind of illustrate a little bit of it. That's the wrong box. That's the right box. All right. So we have an entrance, right? Coming in, and what we're going to do is this. Let's kind of build this one up and out. Okay. No, that's wrong. I'm already messing it up. Alright, we'll just stick those on like that. Alright, so there's that. Which technically means I can take this one off. And this one. That work? That works. All right. Okay, so then it's going to come in. There'll be vines and stuff that we're going to be adding. But let's can do that one there. And then we can come out over here. That'll work. And then if this thing gets blown up, they're going to be disappointed. I should put an edge on this, shouldn't I? Because I can't. Meaning I should just put an edge to work around. You know? That would be good. Okay. I'm going to put that there. I gotta make sure I start down there at the bottom, otherwise it's gonna be impossible to work. I'd have to set up all types of scaffolding and stuff like that, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Then we can do this. And we can do this. That. We should get another edge down here as well, since we're going to build up on this. This is going to be quite the project, I think, just because of what I'm going to have to do. It's going to take a lot of obsidian too, because I'm gonna fill it. I thought about just using other blocks or leaving it hollow. I mean, there's going to be a lot of tunnels, but you know, I mean, it's a 64 by 64 block, so you know. How do I make sure I get that bottom block? There we go. All right. Let me see here. We'll do one there, one here. Here. We'll put a light here. Can do that like that. Close it in. Kind of come across here like that. Can do one of those there. And stick this here. All right. Now we could take that off. All right, so we've got this. Now we need like the vines and stuff. There's a shulker over here, I believe, that has them, or I took it up to the mushroom. Or up, oh, there it is. This is what I was looking for. You can kind of see what I'm aiming for, right? Whee! Alright, let's get some of these out. We'll probably do some other stuff too, but... I'll have to get the bottom ones. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing the bottom growth. Yeah, I'm missing the bottom growth. Alright, well, I can get the bottom growth. Now, what I have to decide... I'm just going to come stand right here. Is do I want the crimson wart to come all the way out to the edge, or do I want to do an insert like that? I think the insert looks cool, right? So imagine there's going to be some like this that are just little holes, right? On all sides, including the bottom going up and the top coming down. Then there's going to be tunnels like that, large and small, that like twist and turn and go through here. Like this one's going to be fairly large. It'll be a little bit smaller on this side, and then I'll probably take an offshoot and take it elsewhere. So there'll be a whole network of these tunnels. So I might start putting in some of the base blocks of the tunnels first throughout this whole thing, just so I kind of have an idea of where I want everything to sync up. And then you'll just have this giant cube here with these tunnels, and select the right one, you can fly all the way through it. Select the wrong one, you're going to smash into a wall. I'm so mean. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. Don't ask me why I'm doing this. I was just trying to figure out, well, what can I build here that's different? I don't want to like build another structure. Let's build something different and unique. So I figured, this will be unique. So anyways, that's what I'm going to work on. So I'm going to work on this a little bit. I think I'll map out all of the caverns and tunnels. Might not get them all built like this, but at least get a base block instead of the cobble going up the middle. Just use a block that's going to represent the bottom going all the way up and around, and twisties and all of that. And then we'll take a look at that. And then, of course, the last step will be filling it all in with the obsidian. Woohoo! The almost indestructible cube. All right, we'll be back. Well, hello, welcome back. We are working out designs here on our thing. I don't know what the world it is. Anyways, let's take a look at this thing. So we're working on building, the tunnel ways, as you can see. We've added some magma, and in some cases, so here's a really good tunnel. It's not decorated, but it's started. We've added also some orange and red glass into this to kind of give it depth in places. It looks really good in the dark. Yeah, here's our mess of trails that we've started of where tunnels will connect. There'll be a larger chamber right here because we've got multiple tunnels connecting. Obviously, we're still missing tunnels because there's big gaps, as you can see, where there's like nothing. So, we want to try to balance it out. This looks really good from, a distance, and especially at night, but even during the day. We've got the 5 tunnels there, the 2 cracks coming in. So we need a couple more up here, more of the magma spread throughout to make a single side look good. And of course, we got to do it on the bottom, and we got to do it on the top as well. We started on the bottom, the bottom is of course completely filled. I think we could add a couple more of the big cracks. At first before I did the magma, at first I was doing this, which I'll still do in places. It just doesn't show up when it's dark, right? But we're going to do it on the sides and stuff. Then I started doing like the magma ones, so that way they're lit. right? Because you can just barely see that. We're still working on that one, and then we got the tunnels. So I mean, I think this is a good balance. I might add a couple more magma cracks and add some depth into them, like I did this one over here with the glass. And yeah, we got all kinds of like just little circles everywhere. I mean, when you're when you're from a distance, actually, where's my rockets? Like if you're up here, for example, it actually looks pretty cool and menacing, even if I was just to glass in the rest of it, make it see throughable. It'd look really cool. But I think it's gonna look really good. Um, don't ask what it is. It's some sort of virus menace thing, I guess. Right? If I come over here, I mean, you can see it. If you're standing down here, I mean, it looks cool. It's different. It's abstract art, I guess, is what you'd call it. We got all kinds of new art coming into here. I did copy the missing ones of those. I've copied that one. Haven't copied that yet. I copied most of this down here, but this one's new, and these two are new. These are all new. The art down here, it doesn't expose anything, I don't think. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cut stuff out. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. It's very close, but it doesn't expose anything. The shrimp is doing its job and covering what it needs to cover, but someone's got a series of this that they're doing. I've seen some others. I've actually got an artwork that's very similar to this. It's different, but it's very similar in the same style. It's really interesting. I don't know where it comes from. Obviously, it's an artist. Does it say the Baron? This just says the Baroness. It's from Andres Flames. Looks really cool. I think it's modest art, right? Some people might not like it, but I don't know what you would classify it. But I mean, the style, modest era or whatever. I don't know. It looks really good. I like things like that. Just, it's good taste. It's not lewd or anything like that. It's just, it's an art. Whatever the purpose of the artist was, not sure, but who knows. Anyways, there hasn't been any other new builds in the past day or so, aside from what I've already shown. So, I think we're caught up on everything. There's lots of stuff planned, and more people said they were going to come and start building, and there's obviously more expansion. There's signs in different places for stuff. I've done a world download of the area. Another person did a world download of an area. So I mean, we're trying to maintain copies of good world downloads just in case the inevitable happens. The inevitable, yes. There's always the inevitable. What am I looking for? I need more of these. All right, cool. So anyways, I'm going to continue working on this and mapping it out, building up the sides. I've been working mainly on this side first, just to kind of build it up and get it going. I think I will, like I said, cut out a couple of these. It's a little bit harder after the fact, of course, because, it's obsidian. But I think I will put in a couple extra, things like just this. It won't show up as lit or anything at night, but during the day it still gives it a good effect. A couple little things like that, and then some larger ones. I think that'll be worth it to put some of that in. For now, I have to torch everything up everywhere to make sure I don't spawn creepers and stuff, and then I don't know. I was thinking, okay, am I really going to fill up all of the empty space with obsidian? Maybe I'll fill it all with lava or what? I don't know. We'll figure out something. don't want to leave it necessarily hollow, although that would be fine too. It'd be cool to fill it with something. Anyways, I'm going to keep building. We've got a lot to do. It's a big cube. Maybe I should have made it 32 by 32 instead of 64 by 64. It's definitely eating up the obsidian. I mean, we've got plenty of it, so I'm not worried about that, but takes time to do these tunnels. That's probably the biggest part, is to put together the tunnels, and I've got all of these tunnels to do. You know, I've only mapped out kind of like a one piece of a wall or a floor or a ceiling going through all these. I haven't even connected that one up there. And so I've just got to kind of go through and make it, you know, fun. Should be fun to fly through. We'll see if anybody can do it. Find their way. Anyways, we will be back. Welcome back. We're over here mining chest to get obsidian. Not sure why. I have to do it the old-fashioned way. I know some of you are probably looking at, why are you doing that? Just use chest miner. It's not working. They used to work. I'm on 1.21.4. I have the latest release for that version for Meteor. I can't get it to work. There's not much in the way of settings to change on it. Tried everything I could, but it's just, it'll mine one, but then it stops working. It won't keep going, even if you have the chests in your hotbar. And of course your one pickaxe, a fortune, or regular pickaxe on anything that's not silk. Anyways, but I can't get it to work, so I have to pillar up or lay them out on the side and whatever, and then mine them down. Anyways, we've been working on this for a while. Probably going to be 2 videos, I think, because we're already 25 minutes or so into this build. I have the bad habit of making these hour-long videos just because I get distracted and I'm doing stuff and I'm having fun, but I do realize it's hard to watch sometimes a full hour-long video. And I can see it in the view metrics too, where people retention does not last an hour. So for most viewers, I understand. It's okay. But anyways, we are almost complete here. Well, the outside looks really good. My biggest challenge that I'm going to have, I think, is going to be the roof. There's all this spawning area. I mean, obviously there'll be light coming up from these holes and stuff, and there'll be some magma cracks, like I've outlined one over here. I just haven't put the magma in because, well, I need to do it down below. I gotta figure out how can I do this and make it spawn proof. Yeah. I don't know. That's gonna be tricky, I think. Let's see. So I needed, okay. I was gonna put on this side the last little hole, cheese hole, into the abomination. I don't know, what is this thing? Well, we need a name for this thing. I put in the chat to the team that, there's something evil growing nearby, because that's what it kind of looks like. I don't know what we should call it. I gotta think of a name. If it's on the video title, then I've thought of a name. If not, then, well, I haven't thought of a name yet of whatever this is. Maybe I should, you know, the infestation, the the something. What could we call this thing? Great question. I'm trying to think. And of course, if you have ideas, definitely put them in the comments. Even if I've already named it, I can always rename it if somebody comes along with something better and more appropriate. So, I mean, it's kind of like, so there's this cube here. And, you know, lore, I guess, is that it's appeared, teleported, warped in to this spot. And it's sitting here. It's infested. You can see that it's infested. It's like something's taking over it. You know, I mean, underneath there'll be vines, the warped vines and stuff hanging down. I might do oozing lava out of different sections. That might be something that I add in. So that, you know, down a couple of the sides and, you know, maybe a small couple areas on the roof and a couple areas at the bottom, there's just lava pouring out of it like blood. I might even do a couple of the red tendrils. Not so much the tunnels, because these are all going to be the tunnels going through it. But I might have something like this where on the outside of it, there's these red tendrils like reaching out towards the ground. I could even make a little spot like where it touches the ground and, you know, there's just decay. Everything's dying and dead, and that could be cool, right? And being infested where the red growth is starting to spread. So I might do that. I think that'll be really good. I'll put that, you know, we've got another probably 4 or 5 hours of building on this at my pace anyways. I know, I'm not the fastest builder. I'm creative, but I'm not the fastest because I don't use all the fast mods and stuff like that. I know some people, you know, use the mods on the server and stuff, and they're still very creative because they'll go into their own like creative world, and then they'll build whatever they want, and then they'll make a schematic, port it over into their folders, load it into the mod that they're using here on 2B2T, and then, you know, basically print it out with a bot. You know, which in some ways it's kind of smart. And I say that because, you know, this is 2B2T, and sometimes if you need, especially if like you're around spawn and you're just going to build like a spawn base for an event or something, like the 2B2T Oscars that just occurred. You know, the base is going to be found quickly. It's not like, you know, my bases, or even this one, where it's much more hidden. You've got time to build stuff and not worry about it being found, hopefully. I mean, at any point, someone could just fly through and go, oh, I found this cool base, and leak the coords, or they're the type of person that is looking to destroy. And so they start destroying right away, and they tell their friends, get to these coords, you know, and things like that. Excuse me. The air's been not so great recently. All right, well, that's 4 sides done. We only got 2 sides to go. The roof and this side. Yeah. Fun, 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 fun. It's going to be really neat. I kind of like it. It's different from what, I mean, I've been building farms and I've been building palaces and castles. And of course, the Oracle of the first base, that was a little bit different. That was kind of futuristic. Like it was supposed to be this giant spaceship in the form of a pyramid that had come down to 2B2T to land. And we were building our little base in it, and I mean, I had all kinds of plans yet not realized to build up the engines thrusts, these giant engines thrusting down into the earth and stuff like that, but ran out of time because we were found. And I kind of expected it. I was going, man, any day someone's going to discover us, any day. Because that place was not hidden very well. Sure, it was a decent distance out from spawn, in the millions. But, I mean, it was my first time on 2B2T. When I came there in vanilla. I didn't have any mods. I didn't even know that about like Zeros map and trail mapping and all of that stuff, that people could follow you, and I knew none of that. I had watched some videos, but it just hadn't, like, I guess, registered that all of that stuff can happen. So, and of course, I mean, Wetbones showed up at my base within the first few days before I built anything. And of course, they were friendly and gave me some stuff and whatnot. Of course, later, and I still don't know, I mean, there was a person named Wetbones, spelled differently, that was part of the attack and griefing the base. I mean, okay, it could have been someone different, or it could have just been an alt account of the person, and they decided, okay, they've had 6 months of building, they've stocked up all kinds of stuff, we can see it on his videos, let's go. I mean, could be. And no hard feelings. I mean, if that's the case, and Wetbones, the first Wetbones that I met was the same Wetbones that griefed the base along with others, then all right, it is what it is. No big deal. We have learned, and we have new strategies and new bases. Woody and I were talking earlier today about, Woody's a member of the team, but we were talking earlier today about how it's just him, Mac, and me, pretty much the only ones that are active out of the 9 people in our group right now. And it's, life happens. People are busy. Some people, I don't think they'll come back. Maybe they've moved on from 2B2T, didn't really enjoy it. Some people, circumstances have changed. Maybe they can't just afford to spend money like on a game like this on a monthly basis, or time, because they've got other things going on and whatnot. And that's just, they got to take care of those things, because life is life. It's a little more important than a game, and that's fine. Even the new individual that joined, I was, definitely earned their wings, you could say, to be invited from the farm base to the main base. Haven't done it yet because, well, they haven't been online, and of course their prio ran out, and they've stated that, okay, well, when they can get prio again, they'll be back, and that's fine. I'd offer to get them prio, but I'm already paying for 4 accounts every month. That's $80 a month on Minecraft on 2B2T. I know there's others that spend a lot more than that on a monthly basis with all of their alts and bots and stuff like that. And yes, I could probably afford it, but also, it's like, well, I'm already spending a lot, and well, yes, I'm making videos, and that's the main purpose of why I'm spending and stuff. It's not like I'm making enough money from these videos yet to account for the cost of everything, so maybe I should wait until I become, super popular. Right. Yes, I will have 1,000,000 subscribers. No, I will have 1,000,000,000 subscribers. I'll put my pinky up to my lips and face, kind of like what's his name on Austin Powers. $1,000,000. I can't do his voice. Don't worry. I'm not even trying. Okay, I will spare you from that humiliation. But you know who I'm talking about. I can't, for some reason, think of a name. I am out of obsidian again. All right, well, I'm gonna chop up some more chests, and just to kind of show, so you stick it here, right? You take your pickaxe. You come over here to chest binder. Oh, well, now it's going to work. Here, I just complained about it not working, and I couldn't get it to work. And now it works fine. It is another day. I did restart Minecraft. I don't know. Oh, well, I'm happy. I'll let it e-mine for 2 stacks here. If it's going to work, then I'll let it work. Anyways, thanks for joining, everybody. We will see you in the next episode. The rest of this won't be the next episode, but you will see the rest of this. We've got a lot of projects going on. We're expanding the palace, building the interiors of the rooms. We're building new farms. We're at the trading post base building there. You'll see those videos in the future when it's appropriate to release them. And of course, we've got the Ninja Walrus base here we're building at too. I need to get back to the anniversary base. I'm assuming it's still there, and do some more building there. And we've got builds going on at one of our stash bases too, which I don't know. I haven't recorded those yet. I don't know if I want to, because it's a stash base, right? So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for joining. Take care.